I may or may not be buying another Duramax for the channel. Stay tuned. Before we get started, I figured I'd share this story with you guys. I was gonna make a video about it, but it'd be kind of like, you know, my truck broke down. I don't want to do anything like that. But this is what happened. My wife was driving this truck, the Wife Max, and I had the kids with me. I was driving the minivan, and she actually broke down on some back country road, and she was sort of on a hill. She called me. She was all worried about it because she was worried someone's gonna rear end her. So I went as quickly as possible to her location, and I hooked up a strap to the van, the minivan, and to the Duramax, and I ended up pulling her all the way home. Come to find out, it actually ran out of diesel. The problem with this truck here is that the diesel fuel gauge is wrong. It's reading backwards. And the other issue was that the truck wouldn't start after I put diesel in it. So here's a little tip: if your truck doesn't start after it runs out of diesel fuel, take off the air filter, block the filter with a piece of cardboard or something, have a buddy turn the key. Basically what you're doing is you're choking the diesel engine from air. With that being said, of course, it's demanding more fuel, it's sending more fuel to your engine, and therefore your truck will start up. So if this ends up happening to you guys, try that method. Choke the diesel and it should fire right up. So her truck is nice and clean looking. We're gonna go ahead and take it home, and then we'll go ahead and get into this video. I really shouldn't be driving this thing in the wintertime, but I gotta get some of the salt off. Unfortunately, driving it home, you know, but at least I got most of it off of there. It's gonna stay in the garage unless it's a clear day. So let's get into this, guys. So I'm sure a lot of you guys watched some of my previous videos on what to look for when buying a used Duramax. So this is a heads up to you guys. If you ever go out and purchase a truck, this is another thing that you definitely need to look for. My buddy Dylan, you saw him on the last video that I posted when I drove to Indiana to buy the parts for the Cummins. Well, what happened, he called me a couple days later and said, "Hey Josh, guess what? I'm buying a Duramax." One thing about Dylan is he's not brand biased, but he definitely likes his Dodge trucks. He knows a lot about them. As a matter of fact, he has a shop. He builds these things. He's a mechanically inclined individual. He knows what to look for. Sometimes there's just things that you just can't catch. In this particular case, he brought it home from Kentucky, and lo and behold, it had failed head gaskets.
More than likely, I'm gonna buy this truck. It's pretty nice. Really feeling good about this truck. I really think you guys are gonna like it a lot too. So yeah, we just have about 20 minutes left, guys, and you guys will finally get to see it. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. This thing is sweet. I've worked, I mean, obviously, guys, it's not like I'm new to these trucks. I've worked on them all the time. I've done tons of work on them, changing motors and these LMMs. But I've never owned one, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty pumped about it. This thing is awesome. It drives so nice. It is a blast. I'm about to cross over back into Indiana right now. We're coming down a hill. So yeah, I just want to give you guys that little update, but I gotta do some driving here, so I'll catch back up with you guys when we get home. Alrighty guys, now it is 2 days later from the last time we talked. Made it home, good with the truck, and I'm in love with it, but it has blown head gaskets. And I noticed that this radiator cap, or this coolant expansion cap, was loose. You can see I have it loose right now. And the reason why is because the head gasket is blowing out into, one of the head gaskets is blowing into one of the coolant ports. I don't know which side it's on. I haven't even dug that far into it. It's not really even worth trying to see which one it is, rather than just fix them both. And it's putting pressure into the coolant system. But if you tighten that cap up, then it will make excessive coolant pressure. You can let it sit for hours after you shut it off, and this radiator hose right here will stay rock hard. The first time that I drove it with the cap tight, it blew out of this radiator hose right here, all over the motor, all over the firewall, and that's why it was just always strategically left a little bit loose to relieve some of that head gasket pressure. The truck is absolutely beautiful. It is completely rust free. You look at the doors, everything is just OEM. It's never been repaired before. It is super clean. It's a full leather truck. We're about to clean it out. It's Friday night now. We bought this truck on Wednesday, but yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, after I found that out, I was so excited whenever I was driving this thing home. And that night, me took it to dinner, and me and Bailey were in the driveway, and we popped the hood, and we saw that it sprayed coolant over the motor, and I just instantly knew. It's like, yep.
Here's the gist of it right here. He just spent $14,500 for this rust-free, beautiful truck, red. I don't think it's an LTZ, but it has basically the same stuff. It's got the leather, the 20-inch chrome rims. The thing is immaculate. Not only that, you can't find a speck of rust on this truck. So $14,500, in my opinion, was a great offer. On top of that, it does have some miles on it. It has over 200,000 miles. But in my opinion, the Duramax is legendary. It's going to last a very long time, as long as you keep up with the maintenance, of course. Hey, listen, if you guys want to check out his YouTube channel, it's Dirty Diamond Diesel. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll link that video in the description below. Make sure you check that out. Watch the entire video. You'll see basically his journey from the time that he started till the time that he brought it home and explained what was going on. I think it'd be worth your time. But I truly think that the seller knew that he had an issue with that truck, and that's why he got rid of it so cheap. And, you know, it makes sense. He probably loosened the cap a little bit. Before you guys buy a Duramax, make sure you guys check the overflow reservoir for the coolant. And make sure that cap isn't loose before you buy it. Not only that, check for little pinholes. Make sure they didn't drill any little holes in there to vent the pressure out. But then again, I've seen this before where it will build up pressure because that cap isn't venting correctly. What will end up happening is it will pressurize the system, and then all of a sudden, you know, you feel like you have a blown head gasket. The other fix to that one, of course, would be thermostats. That's always what a lot of guys go after. Just replace those. They're so simple to get to. They're only 50 bucks. You know, just get them, swap them out. They're right on the top. Here's kind of the exciting thing about this whole situation. He called me very upset, sick to his stomach, actually. And he said, hey, dude, I didn't know that this was actually going on with the truck. I brought it home. I don't want it. I don't want to put any work into it or time. Do you want to buy it? And I said, how much? And he said, for what I paid for it. I said, I didn't even think twice. I said, yes, absolutely, I'll buy the truck. To be able to put an LMM on the channel that I personally own and build this thing from the ground up, that would be so cool. A lot of you guys know this. I talk about this quite a bit on the channel, as a matter of fact. I had an LMM, 07.5 Duramax, bought it from the dealership. I mean, come on, guys. This is my first diesel truck, an LMM. It was awesome. But I had to get rid of the truck, and the biggest reason for that, I made a video on it. My daughter, she got caught praying in class. She was just saying, dear God, help me on this test. Her teacher caught her actually praying in class to herself, not even out loud, and she got very upset at her. My daughter came home from school all upset. At that point, we decided to put her in a Christian school, which she really wanted to do anyways. But Christian schools are extremely expensive, so it was between my truck or tuition on a Christian school. So, you know, bye-bye, whatever. But that truck's long gone. I don't really care about it anymore. It's just stuff. You can always get stuff back. But the opportunity to buy a truck that was almost identical to the one that I had, now I can sell a few things, not my Duramaxes, but I can sell a few things and actually come up with the money to be able to purchase that thing. So yeah, absolutely, I want to buy it. But I don't want to excite you guys too much. This is what ended up happening. He called me like a couple days later and said, look, dude, now I'm kind of considering keeping it. I might just go ahead and move forward with the head stud, head gasket job. Yeah, I'm a little sad about it, but it is what it is. Back in the day when I bought my first diesel truck, when I came home from Afghanistan, when I was at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, when I was stationed there, it was a really cool deployment present. That's kind of where I'm getting at. So anyways, the offer is still sort of on the table. As a matter of fact, I just talked to Dylan on the phone. He's like, yeah, dude, you know, I may keep it on the channel. I may not. I don't know. It's a really nice truck. But I truly think that the seller knew that he had an issue with that truck, and that's why he got rid of it so cheap. But I've got to be honest with you guys. It may or may not be in my possession. He's still thinking about it. So, as a matter of fact, I did a full install video at Ryan's Diesel Service. We did a head stud, head gasket job on an LOY. It's the same exact process, basically from everything from an 01 to a 2016. But who knows? It might be my truck. We'll see. We'll see what happens. By the way, if you're asking about these hoodies right here, JR, my buddy from Atomic Apparel in Michigan, he's the one that supplies me with all of my shirts that I put on the website. He actually made this for me. It's pretty cool. But I ordered about 100 shirts. So if you guys are interested in buying a shirt just like this one right here. I'll leave them on my website, but do not buy anything on my website until after Wednesday this week, because I'm going to be launching a pretty cool giveaway. I talked to Wounded Warrior Project. It's like the Victory Max that we raffled off on the last one in December. And what I'm going to do with this giveaway, it's not going to be a truck giveaway, but I'm going to reveal it. You guys are going to love it. I'd like to give like $1,000 to the Wounded Warrior Project on this one right here. So I'd encourage you guys to participate in that. It's going to be pretty cool. Every $1 spent, it's going to be 1 entry. But again, do not order it right now. Just wait till Wednesday. Wife and I are pretty excited to launch this one. By the way, don't miss the next video. We have a name for the Cummins, and we have a pretty cool spin of what we're going to do with this build. It's going to be completely different from what anyone does to their trucks. So you guys have to watch this video. So make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you subscribe. You guys are absolutely awesome. You're killing it. Thank you so much for watching the channel. We'll see you on the next video. Stay tuned.